Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today we are starting the Sliver series. If you guys don't know what Sliver is, it is a C2 command and control, easy to install, open source framework. And you can see here, they actually have like their definition of it, right? It's a powerful command and control framework designed to provide advanced capabilities for covertly managing and controlling remote systems. What does all that mean, right? So C2 stands for command and control. If you don't know, command and control is actually a military term, and it's not explicit to cybersecurity. Okay, it's not explicit to attack or APTs or anything like that. Most people in cyber hear command and control and they immediately think of like botnets and things like that, which is true. But command and control also is a real thing that not attack or defend, not attackers or defenders in cyber use. That just means I'm commanding and controlling multiple machines, multiple entities, multiple whatever. So that's kind of the rundown about what C2 is. So if you're in cyber and you hear C2, that's what it stands for, command and control, 2 C's, right? So we're going to go through and we're going to really quickly, I'm going to show you guys, this is how Sliver sort of operates. This is extremely high level, and this is just episode 1. So episode 1 is just showing you how it works, installing it, and that's it. We're not going to get deep in the woods. We're going to go take our time and show you guys how to use the proper techniques and things. So first thing is, this is Sliver. You have your Sliver server. This is Sliver server, and then there's Sliver client. Okay, so this is where we're going to stand up the Sliver server. Okay, so what that means is somewhere, wherever you wanted it, if you wanted it, at your home, which would not be best practice for OPSEC, but if you wanted it in the cloud, if you wanted it wherever your infrastructure is, right, you would have this Sliver installed. You can install it on Linux. I'm going to show you guys how to install it on WSL, which is Windows subsystem for Linux. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to install it here. And then this is how it works. Now, again, this is extremely high level and it can vary, right? You could have multiple configuration changes and stuff here, but this is the concept, right? I give you a payload. You're a target. I give you a payload. However I give it to you, I can email it to you. I can take over a machine and run it. I can send it to you in a message. I can do whatever. However I'm getting this payload to you, that payload is then going to call back to this fake URL, right? It's called a redirect. So it's going to fake whatever, right? And it goes to that website, and this website is going to have a preset conditions. Those conditions could be the user agent you're using, a specific callback that it's looking for, whatever. And when that payload calls back to this, that website it may look legitimate. If you go to it, it may look like a running website. It may look like whatever. It is going to then redirect you to the Sliver command and control unit. And now you have a connection from the target to the Sliver command and control. The reason this happens is so that if target 1, if they figure out that I have control of their machine, they're going to notice that it's making callbacks to fake.com, right? Whatever website you got. And it's going to notice that traffic, that C2 traffic. Well, what is the first thing they're going to do? They're going to block the domain, right? Fake.com. Well, a lot of times these payloads can have multiple, you can even have 15, 20 redundant redirects. So what that means is go ahead and block fake.com. Now I'm going to go ahead and reach out to fake2.com, and I'm just going to keep going to the next one, right? And what happens is attackers won't just burn these domains. They will wait until, and they will put, we'll talk more about jitter and all that stuff as we're going, but basically what they will do is they will keep it low and quiet for a long time, and you won't even notice that this DNS or HTTP request or whatever is going because it's very minimal. Now, a lot of people may say, I see a lot of students say like C2 traffic's easy to discover, because it's just a pattern and you can look for like every 5 minutes or whatever. In a real scenario, if I'm taking over a machine, for one, DNS records and HTTPS records, logs, whatever, in a actual enterprise environment, you're talking millions and millions and millions of them, not 10 or 20 like you're going to see in an environment that you stand up to test. So it is very easy to hide in these environments, and that's how they do it. So this is how it works from a foundational perspective. So we're going to stand up the C2 Sliver server. The client which allows you to connect to servers, would mean that I can actually stand up my server, have it sitting in the cloud, and then I can run the Sliver client from my house, from whatever attack machines all over the world, and we can all connect and all have our own player, if you will, in the environment, and we can all be operating at the same time using the same server. We'll talk about that in later ones, but we're going to just do the install now, check it out, and then once you guys do the install, we will actually, on the next one, we will do our first beacon and all that stuff. So here is the sliver.sh. Very quickly, they're showing you how to stand it up. I don't think they're even doing anything here other than standing it up. Yep. They're just starting it just to show it. They have very good tutorials, documents, all that stuff. They can tell you here how to actually compile it from source code. We're not going to do that. We're going to just install it directly from the GitHub. You'll see that the actual GitHub here, if I can find it. I thought I had the GitHub. Oh, it's right here. It was up here. Sorry. And this is the GitHub. We're just going to run it directly from here. You can see here, they actually give you the command curl. Then you can do that. Sudo bash run sliver. So we're going to go ahead and pull up our WSL for Linux. You can see the last thing I did was sudo apt update to make sure that I had everything up to date. Now we're just going to curl https sliver.sh/install sudo bash, and you can see it's going to install it. Once it actually installs it, it will we'll be able to check the version. Once the version is, we've checked it, we're good. We can actually go ahead and run Sliver for the very first time, and technically you would be in a Sliver console and you could theoretically start going, right? Let's give this a second and see how long this takes, and we'll come back as soon as it's installed. Okay, so we're back. It's installed. Everything looks good. So now all we have to do, if we want to check to make sure it works, scoot my keyboard over, is type Sliver and then version to see what version we're running. And you can see we have version 1.6.1. So we should be good to go. Now all we do is type Sliver. And there you go. We are actually in the Sliver commands, or the command console. We can type help, and you can see we have all of our things, such as our beacons, our DNS, all that stuff. And you can see these are our profiles, our DNS listener, all this. Don't worry if you don't know what any of this means. We're going to go through most of it. We're going to talk about basic beacons and how to get it started and all of that stuff, because this is every red team engagement, every pen tester. You should be using some sort of infrastructure if you're doing pen tests that actually require C2, right? Now, not every pen test requires C2. So I understand if you're a pen tester and you're like, I don't use Sliver, that's fine. Also understand that this is not the only C2 framework out there. There are many, many, many C2 frameworks. I'm just going to be doing a Sliver, basically a Sliver tutorial series. So this is my preferred framework for most occasions. There are occasions where, this one isn't the perfect scenario, and that's fine. But for now, this is what I'm going to be doing. So let me know in the comments below if you guys think this is going to be a good series. If you don't really care about it, that's fine too. Just let me know so that I know if this is a series I should continue or not. Thank you guys.